sir. It's Mike. All right.
Push it over to the side.
I got you. Yes, sir. Trying to make sure you stay low. Got enough room? Oh, yeah, this is
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us here for this news conference. My name is Angelique Myers. I'm the Senior Media Services Manager at the Harris County Sheriff's Office. I'd like to welcome all of you here on behalf of Sheriff Ed Gonzalez for this very important press conference. Today we have 6 speakers prepared to speak to you about our DWI initiative. Of course, we'll kick things off with Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, the Harris County Sheriff, followed by Harris County District Attorney Kim Ogg. After DA Ogg, we have Houston Police Department Chief Troy Finner, followed by Houston Fire Department Chief Sam Pena. Also, Harris County Fire Marshal Lori Christensen will provide some words, followed by Tess Rowland, who is the MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving President. Alongside our partners here, we have some family members that have been tragically impacted by impaired and drunk driving. We have Mrs. Tanya Childress. Also, she's holding an image of Jennifer Chavis, who we lost tragically to an impaired driver. On my right, we have Deputy Mike Nelson and his family, who lost their daughter about 5 years ago in the month of December to an impaired driver. We'll be providing remarks in English and Spanish, so please be patient with us, and we'll follow that up with some questions and answers afterwards, and any individual interviews that you'd like to have with our families or media or law enforcement partners, we can set that up as well. Without further ado, we'll start with Sheriff Ed Gonzalez.
Thank you, Angelique. Good morning. I'm Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez. The Harris County Sheriff's Office is joining forces with multiple agencies ahead of the New Year's holiday weekend to crack down on intoxicated and impaired drivers across the region. The agencies participating in the initiative are the Texas Department of Public Safety, the Harris County District Attorney's Office, the Texas Department of Transportation, Harris County Constables and Fire Marshal's Office, Deer Park Police Department, Galena Park Police Department, Houston Police Department, Humboldt Police Department, Jersey Village Police Department, Katy Police Department, Metro PD, and LaPorte Police Department. And I apologize if we're missing anyone. Please let us know so we could make sure to include you. Harris County historically has had the highest number of fatal crashes related to DWI. This year, our deputies alone have made over 1,500 arrests for DWI-related offenses. On average, up to 1/3 of the total fatal crashes investigated by our Vehicular Crimes Division involve a contributing factor of driving while intoxicated. From Friday night to Sunday night, our deputies will work with dozens of other officers from various agencies across Harris County to target intoxicated and impaired drivers. DWI is the most commonly committed offense during the nighttime hours, and it is a 100% preventable crime. The Sheriff's Office is devoted to safeguarding the lives of its residents and visitors. This partnership demonstrates our unwavering pledge to tackle the grave problem of impaired driving head-on. By working with our partner agencies and presenting a united front against DWI incidents, we aim to ensure everyone a safer and more enjoyable New Year's. Dozens of police officers will be out in full force to identify and arrest motorists who choose to get behind the wheel while under the influence. Just as DWI offenders can be anyone in the community, the victims can also be anyone, even our fellow law enforcement officers. We urge all community members to promote responsible behavior to avoid preventable crashes that can be fatal. Law enforcement will implement heightened patrols throughout the community to actively look for signs of impaired driving. There will be zero tolerance for impaired driving. Anyone caught under the influence of alcohol or drugs will face strict enforcement measures. We rely on you to keep our roads safe. If you plan to celebrate, please consider the following. Designate a sober driver or use rideshare services. Plan for alternative transportation in advance. Encourage friends and family to make responsible choices and report suspected impaired drivers to law enforcement. By working together, we can create a safer environment for everyone as we welcome the new year. Let's welcome 2024 with joy, responsibility, and a collective dedication to keeping our roads free from impaired driving. Let's end the street. And I also want to make sure to thank some key members that are leading the efforts for our respective agency. That includes Major Seth Collier, Assistant Chief Tommy Diaz, Captain McConnell, Lieutenant Chang, and so many others. And also thanks to Houston TransStar for hosting us here today. Briefly in Spanish. Soy alguacil del Condado Harris, Ed González. La oficina del alguacil del Condado Harris está uniendo fuerzas con varias agencias antes del fin de semana de Año Nuevo para tomar medidas contra los conductores ebrios en toda la región. La iniciativa es un trabajo en equipo y son muchas las agencias involucradas, como pueden ver aquí en este momento. Históricamente, el condado de Harris ha tenido el mayor número de accidentes mortales relacionados con los efectos de alcohol. Este año, nuestros oficiales han hecho más de 1,500 detenciones por delitos relacionados con conductores que están ebrios. En promedio, hasta un tercio del total de choques fatales investigados por nuestra agencia involucran un factor contribuyente de conducir en estado de ebriedad. Desde el viernes por la noche hasta el domingo por la noche, nuestros oficiales trabajarán con docenas de otros oficiales de varias agencias en todo el condado para arrestar a los conductores intoxicados. En manejar bajo de la influencia de alcohol es un delito más cometido durante las horas nocturnas y es un delito 100% prevenible. Nuestra agencia se dedica a proteger a nuestra comunidad. Esta asociación demuestra nuestro compromiso inquebrantable de hacer frente al grave problema de la conducción bajo los efectos de alcohol. Nuestro objetivo es que todos disfruten un año nuevo más seguro y eso se logra trabajando unidos y presentando un frente unido contra los incidentes de conducción bajo los efectos de alcohol. Decenas de oficiales estarán listos para identificar y detener a los conductores que deciden ponerse al volante bajo los efectos de alcohol o drogas. Así como los infractores de DWI pueden ser cualquier persona en la comunidad, las víctimas también pueden ser cualquiera, incluso nuestros compañeros de trabajo. El 24 de enero de 2022, nosotros también tuvimos la pérdida del sargento Gutiérrez, que fue impactado su familia por alguien acusado por estar manejando intoxicado. Instamos a todos los miembros de la comunidad a promover un comportamiento responsable para evitar choques que pueden ser mortales. Confiamos en usted para mantener la seguridad de nuestras carreteras. Demos la bienvenida de 2024 con alegría, responsabilidad y una dedicación colectiva para mantener nuestras carreteras libres de conducción bajo los efectos de alcohol o drogas. Muchas gracias a todos y feliz año.
Good morning. I'm Kim Ogg, Harris County District Attorney. I want to thank our partners in law enforcement, the first responders who must deal with the carnage that DWI causes on our roadways each year. I also want to thank what I would call our second responders, and that's the District Attorney's Office Vehicular Crimes Division. These lawyers, led by Assistant District Attorney Lauren Bard, make the scene with these officers of every fatality where intoxication is suspected and many assaults where the victim simply doesn't die through no thanks to the drunk driver, mainly thanks to our fire department and health care providers. You see, when we respond to DWI, it's as a collective group in law enforcement. So for those people who are thinking they're going to go out and party without making responsible divisions, understand that this showing of law enforcement is a fraction of the number of officers and prosecutors who will be waiting for drunk drivers on the roadway, because the faster that they can get them off the highway, the safer everyone will be. Just as Sheriff Gonzalez suggested, this is a totally preventable crime. We see 11,891 DWIs filed in 1 year. That's 2023. Of those, 44 were filed as intoxication manslaughters, and 45 were filed as intoxicated assaults where the person didn't die. That is 44 families whose loved ones aren't coming home, who got up that day, they put their coffee aside, they got their car keys, they went to work, they thought they'd be home that night, but they never made it because someone decided to drive intoxicated or impaired by drugs. In the cases where people are simply injured, you're going to hear from somebody who's a victim herself today, who's still dealing with the medical complications while the offender who hurt her through a DWI is in jail. But in truth, she may serve a longer sentence trying to rehab herself than the offender serves in jail. So what we want people to know is most DWI offenders, of these 11,891, they didn't think of themselves as criminals. And their victims had no idea that by day's end, they would be crime victims of DWI. So this is a crime that affects all of us, is totally preventable, and takes a great deal of government resources to keep everyone safe. So you'll see law enforcement agencies, the constables' offices, the sheriff's offices, the police department, and our DA's office and other DA's offices working on what we call a no-refusal project, a no-refusal task force. Now, in fact, these happen every weekend of the year, thanks to our Department of Highways. But rarely do we see this kind of regional compliance. And let me suggest to you that these are highly trained police officers who specialize in intoxicated driving, who know how to gather the evidence, who know how to go to the hospitals, who know how to take advantage of the volunteer phlebotomists, those who take the blood of the drunk drivers. All is part of a collaborative to keep everyone safe. Our lawyers write warrants, they file charges, and they're there side by side with the officers at intake as they file. So just as these officers are working 24/7, 365 days a year, our prosecutors are doing the same thing, whether they're going out to drunk driving scenes or whether they're writing warrants and filing charges. And to talk about a partnership really doesn't do this justice. This is unique in the country to have this many agencies, this many organizations working together, all to protect the Houston community. So here's what we would like to ask of our fellow Houstonians and everyone else in the great cities around Harris County and in our unincorporated areas. Call a Lyft service, make a plan, call home. Do not drive if you've been drinking or drugging. I want to pay special regard during this holiday season to the families of drunk driving victims, especially those in law enforcement. Not only do they have to see it and are traumatized by the results of other people's losses and injuries, these families have suffered personally losses that none of us can really even imagine. So we want to thank you for your courage in standing up and telling everyone your story, encouraging people to be responsible, and to show your support and your ongoing faith that this justice system will hold people responsible. If you're drunk driving this weekend, you're going to jail.
Hey, good morning. Just want to speak to really quickly the human element. I look at the surviving families, and I know the person, your daughter. I went to your daughter's scene, but this is something again, and I don't want to repeat everything that our DA and our sheriff said. 100% preventable, and that's what's so frustrating, because we come time and time again, and Harris County time and time again leads the nation in DWI-related deaths. And we're standing here in force, and I'm so proud of that. When I look around, I see so many agencies represented here. And the message to the public, have a plan like we always said. Drive share, get designated driver, common sense things, because you don't want to be in jail, but we're going to be out there. And most important, we don't want to see any more victims. And it does not discriminate. Law enforcement families, regular citizens, everybody. And it could be prevented. Just in Houston alone, 65 people dead. DWI deaths. And we're doing our jobs, and we're going to do it this weekend. And that's the message we want to send. Just in this year, over 5,100 arrests of DWIs in just the city of Houston. So everybody, let's do your part. Nobody's asking you not to celebrate. Celebrate responsibly. But at the same time, consider innocent people on the road. Don't drink and drive. And if you're on some other drug, medication, or whatever, don't drive. It's just real simple. Let's have a safe New Year Eve weekend. Let's bring the new year in safely. And let's grab some momentum and make our city, our county, our region safer for years to come. But again, we're going to be out there in force, and you see it. And I hope the media gets everybody's faces in a uniform, because it's impressive. And this is how we do things in this region. And I just want to thank all of our partners and the volunteers for everything that y'all do. So thank you, and let's have a safe weekend. All right?
Well, good morning. My name is Sam Pena. I'm the fire chief for the city of Houston, and it's an honor to be here with all our partners in public safety, the sheriff's office, the police department, all the agencies that are behind us in this unified effort and message to our residents and to the public. It is easier than ever now to avoid drinking and driving. Call a taxi, call an Uber, call a Lyft. Heck, if you have my number, call me. But if you throw up, you're going to have to clean that truck. And so, but it's no joke. Look, we have families, we have victims of drunk driving, and the impact that it has on our communities and these folks is enormous. They never recover from that. And we want to make sure that our residents, especially our adults, that they take the time to speak to the young adults about the dangers of drinking and driving. There is no reason why this should happen. Every one of these people up here, every one of these agencies up here wants you to celebrate responsibly. They want you to have a great New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. But we want you to do it in a way that is responsible and that you can celebrate safely. We are going to be out with our public safety partners. We want to urge you all to take the time to make a plan. As has been mentioned up here, there is no reason why you should be drinking and driving. So, again, we want to wish everyone a very happy New Year. We want you to do it responsibly. We want you to take the time to make a plan and celebrate. And let's bring in 2024 in the right way. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Lori Christensen, I'm your Harris County Fire Marshal. One of the things I want to say is each one of us, and I'm talking to the public, we've got 4.8 million residents in Harris County. That includes the 34 cities and the unincorporated county. Each one of us has an opportunity to save a life before it needs to be saved. If you're out at an event and you see somebody even that you don't know that appears to maybe be impaired or you're concerned about, say something. You know, be a friend, go up. And say, hey, can I help you? Do you need to talk to somebody? Because at the end of the day, it's about all of us taking care of everybody, right? It's not just the first responders, because after the incident, the law enforcement shows up, the DA's office shows up, fire department show up. You see right here, part of the over 85 law enforcement agencies in the county part of over the 53 fire and EMS departments. Each one of us is out there wanting to make sure you go home every day and your family doesn't have to suffer for years. And DAI said that great. It is a lifetime of suffering. And so let's help each other. Again, be a friend, be a stranger that becomes a friend, and help people get home safe. Do what you need to do, and let's keep this New Year's, we can go back and say we still have our 4.8 million residents in Harris County, and everybody went home, and we can all, January 1st, wake up and know that our loved ones are with us. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tess Rowland, and I'm the National President of Mothers Against Drunk Driving. I just want to say it's truly an honor to be here alongside Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, Houston Police Chief Troy Finner, Harris County District Attorney Kim Ong, and Houston Fire Department Chief Sam Pena, as well as the Fire Marshal, Ms. Lori Christensen, as we work to save lives from the 100% preventable crime of drunk and drug driving. As we stand on the cusp of a new year filled with hope, anticipation, and excitement for what lies ahead for you and your loved ones, I stand before you with a plea. One that I hope transcends the excitement of the countdown and the joyous celebrations. I ask, if you plan on ringing in the new year with alcohol, that you never make the choice to drive while under the influence. We must come together as a community to ensure that our hopes and dreams for the year ahead are not shattered by a choice that cannot be undone. In my role as National President of Mothers Against Drunk Driving, I represent thousands of impaired driving victims and survivors in the work that I do daily, and it's not something that I take lightly. The truth is that no one understands the impact of this crime until it happens to them. And I want to say, too, that the impact goes far beyond those that are actually involved in the crash. You see it here in the families. My mother is here today for me. She got that phone call that no parent ever wants to receive, like these parents did, too. And they live with that life sentence as well. We must come together and, of course, make a choice to never drive under the influence. And I know this as well because someone made this choice and it changed the course of my life entirely. I was living my dream as a television news reporter in Panama City Beach, Florida on May 4th, 2021. I woke up thinking that it would be just another Tuesday morning. Getting up at 2 a.m. was my new normal at the time because I had just been moved to the morning shift. And it was an easy commute to the TV station because I always said to myself, well, hardly anyone is on the road at 3 a.m. So I thought, it was dark and it was quiet. And then all of a sudden I just saw these bright headlights coming right at me and I had no time to react. And I still see those headlights every time I close my eyes, and it's a nightmare. I wonder if it will ever go away. I was hit head-on by a drunk driver traveling the wrong way, and the total impact of the crash was over 50 miles per hour. And to this day, many first responders are in awe that I'm alive, because after the crash I was unconscious, but officers on the scene told me that my knee had been shattered by the dashboard, and the engine of the car was just an inch away from my body. Local police also found beer cans as well as THC and cannabis in the driver's car. I later found out that the drunk driver was visiting the Panama City Beach area from Tennessee, and he had just got done celebrating his 22nd birthday earlier that night. I was 22 myself. My injuries were extensive. The entire right side of my body was so injured that they actually considered amputating the lower portion of my right leg, and they knew that my shoulder would just never be the same again. So I spent the next few months relearning how to walk, relearning how to use my right arm again, relearning how to write. I also suffered internal injuries as well, and I live in chronic pain to this day. So I've had 7 surgeries. I have 4 very large scars, metal throughout my entire right side, and doctors say it's just a matter of time until I'll need my next surgery. And it's with great disdain that I say that over this holiday season, there are 21 million chances that you or a loved one could encounter an impaired driver on our roadways. So currently in this country, one person is killed from a drunk driving crash every 39 minutes. So while we're having this press conference, it's the unfortunate reality that someone is losing their life to the hands of a drunk driver. So that's 37 people a day and over 13,000 people a year. People with hopes, people with dreams, people with families, all cut short in a crash that never had to happen. I want to say, too, that driving under the influence, it's not an accident. It's not a mistake. It is a choice and a crime. It not only puts the driver's life at risk, but also endangers the lives of innocent pedestrians, passengers, and other drivers who share the road with them. So law enforcement officers are trained to detect impaired drivers, and they take appropriate actions to remove them from our roads, and for that, I'm forever thankful. Every stop is a life saved. They conduct the regular patrols and actively engage with the community to educate and raise awareness about the dangers of impaired driving. And their tireless efforts to save lives remind us all of the gravity of this issue. So thank you for all that you do. I know first responders, you are not immune to this issue either. But beyond enforcement, the key lies in prevention, and that's where we can all stand together and make a difference. So this New Year's Eve, let's commit to celebrating responsibly. So before the clock strikes midnight and before you take that first sip of alcohol, please, please, please plan how you're getting home. So designate a sober driver within the friend group. If you're hosting a party, make sure to monitor your friends and guests, and do not be afraid to take the keys from them if they plan on making a choice that they will so very much regret. The magic of the new year should be about fresh starts, new beginnings, not about tragic endings. And those who are victims of this crime can tell you how a magic moment can turn tragic in the blink of an eye due to someone making a terrible and irreversible choice. I beg you, please do not be the reason that a family has an empty seat at their tables. These two beautiful young women, we remember them through pictures, but they should be here with us today to share their stories. So if you drink, don't drive, not only during this New Year's Eve holiday, but every day. Because together, I know that we have it within us to create a world of no more victims, where every person can enjoy their holidays and celebrations without fear of their loved ones not returning home from our roadways. So let's make 2024 a great year, and hopefully next year we don't have to do this again, because people will understand and make choices to ensure the safety of our loved ones and themselves. Thank you.
Just in closing then, just want to also commend all the law enforcement personnel that's here. They too are out on the roadways, putting their lives on the line to protect our roadways every year, being away from family members. And they put themselves in harm's risk. A lot of times those flashing lights are a magnet for impaired drivers, and we've seen our own get injured and hurt and have lost their lives throughout the years. So kudos to all of them and their families as well. And then we often focus on the enforcement aspect of this. We're going to be out in full force, and we're going to make arrests, and zero tolerance, and no refusal days, and what have you. But what we're doing now is also a key part of it, and that's prevention and intervention. We're helping raise awareness to our community so that they can plan ahead. Rent a room if you're going to go out somewhere. Stay in the area. Plan. Again, the transportation, all these things are things that you can plan ahead, because you're busy making plans for New Year's Eve already. So just take the extra moment. All of this has been ingrained in us forever. I mean, we play the word game, and I say, don't drink and finish the sentence. You know it instinctively. We all know it instinctively. Everybody knows that. Anytime I tell that to somebody, they know to complete that sentence. But yet it's so hard to do, and we see it all the time. And so, again, thank you all for being here, for the family members that are here. Just the other day, we responded to a scene where a suspected drunk driver jumped over a creek about 50 feet, or I don't know how far it was, struck some parked trailers landed in the front yard of a house. Well, there's a passenger, a female passenger, a young lady that she's missing from her holiday table and won't be celebrating. I mean, we see it far too often, and that's why we'll continue to come and say this until we can end the streak and have no more of this, because this is 100% preventable. So calling on all Harris County residents to help us out. Don't be an enabler. Even if you're not the one drinking, you know somebody that is. For the food establishments and bar establishments out there, don't be over serving as well. We have a very aggressive plan as well, thanks to the district attorney's office and Kim Ong and her team, that we will be going to identify those source locations as well. So again, help us be part of the solution, and let's have a great and responsible entry into the new year. Happy New Year, and God bless everyone. Thank you. Yeah. Major Collier, I don't know if there's anything specific, but from our understanding, we're going to be all throughout. We're going to be fanned out all throughout the county. We want saturation, we want coverage. And again, we don't want to make arrests, but we obviously will if we have to. We're prepared for that, and that's why you see this show of force. But you have all agencies represented here. We all have different jurisdictions, different areas that we cover. We're overlapping. We're coordinating. We're going to have a roll call that's going to be happening. You're welcome to come and stop by so you can see us fanning out into the region. But we're gonna be everywhere, because just like we said, this is, I think Chief Jenner said it, like this type of crime impacts everyone. All socioeconomic status, all communities. No part of the county is immune. And so we're going to be everywhere. We can't cover every place, but again, that's where we're going to try to have some coverage everywhere.
And what if you encounter a driver who just says, I'm not going to submit, I don't want to do this?
If somebody want to talk about somebody refusing to.
It's easy. If you know somebody who is clearly impaired, that's not the crime. Yeah, they might be publicly intoxicated, that's a ticket. You can save them from the greater crime of getting in their car and driving, which is a misdemeanor that's jailable, that requires jail time, or a felony if they have a prior conviction or if they harm somebody. So you can call 911. You can call any of the local municipalities. If you're in Tomball, you call Tomball PD. If you're in an unincorporated area of the county, you can call the county, but 911 will get you to the right place. And I think that while it's not a crime in progress yet, if you're literally watching somebody walk to their car and they're drunk or impaired, it's about to be a crime. So call 911. Did I answer the wrong question? Call 911. All right, what if somebody says no? So no refusal means that upon probable cause as presented by the officers, which is based on reasonable suspicion, they think somebody might be drunk, they pull them over, they smell alcohol or find evidence of drugs or alcohol, then an arrest is made. And prior to the charge being presented to the DA's office, there is an opportunity for the person to consent to a blood draw, or there's an opportunity for the district attorney's office to write a warrant to support the investigative agency. So if DPS brings in somebody suspected to be drunk and they don't agree to the blood draw, our DAs are there present from Thursday through Tuesday, and that's every weekend. And that's why it's called no refusal, because you don't have a right, once probable cause is established by the officers and a warrant signed by a judge, you don't have the right to refuse. And that's because driving is a privilege, not a right. Thank you for clarity on that.
It's kind of emotional for me. December the 16th, 2016, our daughter was killed by a DW driver, head-on collision. And the vehicle was her mom and my grandmother, and our grandson. It could have been worse. We lost our daughter. It could have been without my grandson, and a mom. He made a choice. And like they said, you'll never get over that. Once that piece of the puzzle is missing, it's not whole again. And it's a struggle because we have to celebrate a birthday, we have to celebrate a Christmas, Mother's Day at a cemetery while this young man is enjoying life. It's just a struggle that we deal with as a family every day, especially for a 5-year-old, 6-year-old who have to go through life without his mom. He was in the vehicle at that time. Like I said, it could have been worse, but you know, he's alive. Taylor's mom is alive, and it's just devastating because that's something you'll never get back. A life is not reusable. You can't just bring it back. It's gone. And like I say, it's a struggle for us. Every day is a struggle. My grandson was at my neighbor's house earlier this year. He was playing on swing with his son, and they were swinging high. And my neighbor said, you know, y'all need to stop because y'all made launch into space. My grandson turned to him and said, that's okay, because if I get to space, I'll see my mom. You know, it been times when his grandmother called him. We had one incident where he came home and he grabbed the phone and he asked his grandmother, I need guard number because I need to talk to my mom. You know, it's a struggle. So please do not drink and drive because a life is something you cannot get back. And it's something we're struggling with every day. Thank you.
I would like to say that my name is Tanya Childress. This is my daughter, Jocelyn Fowler, and this is my daughter, Jennifer Chavis. And Sheriff Gonzalez asked earlier if I would like a chair to place her picture in, but you know, this is Jennifer. So, you know, this is how we carry Jennifer with us when we go places. You know, we have pictures. Of course, we have the memories. But that person is not here that should be here. So therefore, if I have to stand here all day holding the picture where other families don't have to go through the pain that we're going through, that's something that, you know, I will do because this is her now. This is how we take her with us. They have their family pictured here, but this is how that person goes on vacation with us now. This is how that person is there at the tables during holidays through pictures. But
I just wanted to say, these days, one of my favorite things to do is sleep, because I get to dream, and often I dream of my sister. She was my best friend, and in my dreams, I get to see her. She's happy, she's healthy, we get to carry on the way that we used to. But on April 2nd, 2022, we experienced an alternate reality. My sister was on patrol, waiting. A civilian had called in a suspected drunk driver, and as she waited to apprehend him, he crashed into the back of her patrol vehicle, and it caught on fire. Her colleagues tried to get her out, and unfortunately, they were not able to. So when my mom says we carry her pictures, we truly do carry her pictures with us because we never got the chance to say goodbye, never got the chance to really experience that proper burial. Of course, it was a closed casket due to the nature of the incident. When we talk about realities, this is the reality of drunk driving that you see before you. We, and their family as well, stand before you with pictures because that's all that we have left. Pictures and memories. Children who don't have their mothers. Mothers who don't have their children. I thank the law enforcement community, the prosecutorial agencies who have been with us throughout this. Make better decisions. One thing that has been said, and I will reiterate it again, this is a 100% preventable tragedy. You do not have to get behind the wheel of the car. You don't have to. Sleep on the couch. I don't know, sleep in your back seat. Call a friend. Call an Uber. Call a Lyft. Some people say, well, it's expensive. Well, you know it's expensive. Funerals. Attorneys having to go to court. And the loss of my sister, the loss of their daughter. Priceless. Something we'll never get back.
We're here to save lives, so thank you all for being here. Any final questions or anything?
I just want to close it. Thank y'all so much for being here. The police chief, the sheriff, the DA, we cannot speak the power. And thank y'all. And we're going to do this every year, and I want survivors, because y'all can speak powerful and truth, and y'all going through it, okay? But thank y'all, and thank everybody for being here. Thank you.
And Tess mentioned earlier, she gave the statistics of with every 39 minutes or so.
39 minutes in this country.
Yeah. Jennifer's incident tragedy occurred late afternoon on the tollway. Yours in the South Houston area, nighttime hours. The prime examples, any time of day. I mean, anyone could be impacted. And again, 100% preventable. We're here to save lives today. Let's come together as a community and let's make a difference here in Greater Harris County. Let's end the street. Thank you. Gracias.
Sure.